Hi, Jill. Well, here it is, the requested chicken quesadilla recipe. So watch carefully. I'm going to go from beginning to end. First of all, you need some chicken. Now, if you really want to make it easy on yourself, just go get a rotisserie chicken and use that from the supermarket. It's flavorful and it's already brined and it has a good flavor, and so that's fine. If you want to do it from scratch, what you're going to do is you're going to take some, well, what I did was just take some chicken fingers, and I have this in a brine. Okay, so the brine, it's been in there for about 45 minutes. It's just a little bit of warm water, 2 teaspoons of salt, a big pinch of pepper, and 1 crushed garlic clove. And it's been in there hoping to get some flavor, because usually chicken tenders are just flavorless to me. They're white meat and they're not really good unless they have some sort of seasoning. So these have been in here, like I said, for 45 minutes. So I'm just going to go ahead and take them out. They're ready now. And I'm going to just put them on this paper towel right here. These are going to cook up pretty quick. But what I want to do is make sure that there's not a lot of moisture, because otherwise they won't brown. So I'm putting them on this plate right here, shaking them off a little bit. They're already seasoned, like I said, because they've been in the brine for 45 minutes. So just to make sure they're dried off a little bit, I'm just blotting them with this paper towel. And I'm going to just put the paper towel down here, and I'm going to flip them over so that they get the other side. Grab one more little piece of paper towel and really just get the bottom. Turn it over again. And these are pretty good. Okay, so the first thing that has to happen is that we're going to go ahead and start sauteing the chicken. So I'm going to take a little bit of peanut oil, or you could use olive oil, whatever your favorite oil is. A little peanut oil goes a long way, and it doesn't get too hot. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this stove on 5, and I'm going to go ahead and start heating that up. In the meantime, I am going to start chopping up my veggies and things that are going to go into the filling for the quesadilla. So first, you can use an onion or shallot. That's what I have, a shallot. I have a half a shallot left from another meal, and I'm just going to go ahead and use it up. So I'm going to dice up my shallot to be part of the mixture. Okay, so you want to dice, so you just want to do little chops like this. I'm chopping it across and then in half, because this is going to come out as a dice, and then up and down. And if you did that right, you get a nice little pile of onion, or shallot in this case, and the rest away. And there you have nice, not too big, because you don't want to have them overpower your dish or be really evident that they're in there. So they're going to cook up anyway. So that's my first. Okay, I see that my oil is heating up. Might add just a little bit more, because this is a bigger pan than I usually use, but the tortillas that I bought are a little bit bigger, so that's just going to let this come around and get that going. Okay, so we did the onion. Now I'm going to do some of the mushroom. Now I have a mixture here. I have some shiitake mushrooms, just 2 is fine, and then I have regular white button mushrooms. So I'm going to start by taking off these stems of the shiitake because they're tough and not good to eat at all. So we got that off of there. Let's go now with my pan. Just trying to get that olive oil or the peanut oil. Now, the way we're going to cut these so that they fit nicely is in strips. Just like that. Do both of them. And now the button mushrooms. Also going to do those in strips. First I'm going to cut them in half. And then I'm going to cut them across this way. My pan's almost ready for chicken. Like I said, this chicken is not going to take long at all. Okay. And more. Okay, so now I've got my onion and I've got my mushroom and I already put my chicken on, I think. So just making sure that the pan is coated. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start frying up my chicken tenders. So just give them a nice spot to go. There's the sizzle, so I know my pan's hot enough. One more. I'm making for two. I'm making two of them because this is probably going to end up being lunch for Mark and myself. So while that's sizzling away, I'm going to just put together a small seasoning mixture to use on the chicken and other parts of the dish. So I'm going to start with, this is chili powder, one teaspoon of chili powder. Okay. I'm also going to use some garlic powder. So, say about half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Let's see what else. Or actually, that was onion powder. This is garlic powder. Okay, so half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder. That's what I'm going to do right now. And then I'm going to do half a teaspoon of paprika. And half a teaspoon of cumin. These are just traditional Mexican flavors. And last but not least, just a little bit of red pepper flakes. Not too many because I don't want it to be really hot. Then I'm just going to go ahead and add about a half a teaspoon of salt, maybe a little more. And there you have it, a nice little batch. Whatever's left over you can use on, save it. It's a good mix. So that's what it looks like. A nice mixture of seasonings. Okay, so these are coming along just nicely. I'm going to flip them over and get the other side done. See, these tenders do not take long at all. They're already almost there. So we're just going to do this next side. Okay. So I have my seasoning mix. I'm just going to get these spices out of my way. And I'm going to put a pinch of black pepper in there too. A big pinch. All right, now I am ready to go. Okay, so while I'm waiting for their chicken to finish off, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab tortillas, 2 tortillas that I'm gonna use to make these. So I'm gonna put those aside over here. And we are almost ready to go. You want to make sure your chicken is cooked all the way through. It wouldn't be very good if it was pink in the middle, would it? All right, so this is 75% of the way cooked. At this point right now, I'm just going to tap a little bit of my Southwest type seasoning onto the chicken. Get it nice and brown and seasoned up. Okay, you just want to put some on there for flavor mostly. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and flip these again. Okay, and then again, and this is going to be cut up and part of the quesadilla, so you don't worry if you look like you have too much seasoning, you won't. You just want to get some flavors in there. Okay. A few more seconds and this is ready. I'm just going to go ahead and the refrigerator and grab my cheese. Okay, so the cheese we're going to use for the quesadilla is a Mexican blend of cheese. And it's a mixture of Monterey, cheddar, asadero, and quesadilla cheese. So that's perfect. And it comes all together. I don't have to deal with it. I don't have to cut it up. It's already there. All right, I'm going to flip my chicken one more time. See how nice and brown it's getting. I believe the chicken's ready to go. Now I'm going to just do a test cut. Yep. Test cut. Make sure it's cooked all the way through, and it is. You don't want to overcook it, because that really will. I'm going to put it aside. Right here. If you overcook it, it's going to be too dry and awful tasting. Okay, so this guy, these chicken pieces are done. Now, I'm going to add one more drop to this nice pan filled with all those spices. One more drop of peanut oil, just like a teaspoon. Because I'm going to go ahead and get the mushrooms in here. I want these mushrooms to start cooking, so I'm just going to kind of let them absorb some of the spices on the bottom of this pan. Let them get started a little bit. Give them a minute or two. And then what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to go ahead and add the onion or the shallot that I cut up. So I'm going to just let this let these guys soften up a little bit, which they are doing nicely. Okay, so now I'm going to add the onion. Wish you could smell this. It's so delicious and wonderful. Okay. So the onion has been added. And we'll just toss that around a little bit. Let it give off some of its juices. Now at this point, just want to make sure that it gets all enough cooked. I have this brining mixture. I should have told you before not to throw it out. I am just going to add a little bit of the brining mixture. It's seasoned. It's got the garlic flavors in it. And then with that, I am just going to shut off the heat, let the pan continue to do the rest of the cooking. Okay, we're just going to get these guys, clean out the pan, pick up the bits. Okay, in the meantime, I'm going to grab a plastic cutting board because now I'm going to cut up the rest of the chicken while I want to just simmer that liquid out of there. So for the chicken, I am going to cut this in strips. As soon as it's, you can cut the chicken up as soon as it's pretty much cool enough to handle. And this is right now. So, okay, I need to turn the heat back up because that is not dissipating as much as I would like it to. Okay. Okay, so this chicken, really, really flavorful with the spices, etc. Okay, so I'm just going to taste this chicken and make sure it's not too spicy. It's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and let this stuff come to the way I want it. I'm going to throw the chicken in here now. Let it get some of that moisture because you do not want dry chicken in your chicken quesadilla. Okay. And this is just about where I need it to be. Okay, the chicken also has absorbed some of that spicy liquid. Okay. And the last thing I'm going to do is just give a little squeeze of lime. So I want to add a little brightness to the dish. A little tiny piece of lime is all you need. Just get the juice out of it. This is the limes I use for my vodka tonic. Okay. All right. These guys are, this is ready. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and get a bowl. And I'm going to go ahead and turn this off for a minute. These guys, these little crusade pans are so freaking heavy, but they really do the best job. Try to get the rest of these mushrooms. I usually have Mark hold the pan for me while I do this, but he's not here. He's working, so I gotta do it myself. Okay, that's good. Got most of it anyway. Okay, so here you have a delicious and seasoned filling. Now we are ready. I'm gonna wipe out this pan because I'm gonna go ahead and assemble. Okay, got most of it out. Okay, next, one more time. Now I'm going to put the heat back up just a little because I'm ready to assemble. Starting with a teaspoon maybe of this Let it get hot. And I'm going to be ready to start making these. Let the oil come around the pan, evenly coating. Something like that here. Okay, let it heat a little bit more. All right. While that's heating, I'm going to start filling my quesadilla. So what you want to do is fill half of it, okay? So I want half of this mixture, and let's see, just need, actually I'll get this will work. So I want to fill half this mixture up. Quesadilla number 1. Okay, so spread it evenly all over like this. A little more. Okay, then time for cheese. So I just eyeball this. I'm just going to kind of cover it like you would if you were making pizza. Just kind of, it depends on how much cheese you like. Okay, try not to eat too much cheese. So that's how much cheese I'm going to use. But you could certainly really put cheese on there if you wish. So that's 1. Now I'm going to do the second one real quick. So whatever's left here, go ahead and put it on half of this. Okay. Then go ahead and cover it. Okay. Fold it over. Get all this runaway cheese here and fold it over. Okay, so now it's time to cook. All right, come on over here. I'm going to put this first one in, and then the second one. And we're going to let them turn golden. Bring this up a little bit here. Clean up a little bit. Okay, I'm almost ready to turn these guys over. I'm going to use bigger spatula. Okay, so since I want the, let me get this out of here. Get out of there, you. I want this to be lined up the same way I had it, so using my espresso's hands, I'm going to flip it over, put it back in the right direction. Now the cheese is on the bottom. Any errant pieces of chicken I'm going to shove back in there. And I'm going to flip over the other one. Oops. So we'll leave it this way. There's enough room. There you go. Get back in there. Okay. Sometimes things happen. But this one is beautiful, and that's the one I'll use as my model. I'm going to give this guy a few more minutes. Sorry about that. Grab a dish. Keep forgetting I have this thing like up over there. Okay. There we go. All right. I believe this guy is just about ready. And I'm going to go ahead and flip him onto the board. This guy's still cooking a little bit. I'm going to cut off the heat. All right, so I'm ready to serve this up, and this is how I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it in wedges. So here's the first. And then this way. There you have nice, cheesy. Let's get a shot of the inside of this. There you go. And here. Okay, that's it for today. Until next time, bye.